Now, unpaid gold tax, gold exports levies, mineral rent fees are undermining the mining sector. This, according to the reports, that is as far as to do with Uganda. Now, the report recently submitted to Parliament reveals that gold exports valued at 3 billion United States. 3 billion US dollars, that is approximately 11 trillion Ugandan shillings, were made without the required export permits from the Minister of Energy, as stipulated by Section 149 of the Mining Minerals Act. Now, according to the words of the minister, she said that the practice undermines the regulatory framework and leads to loss of government revenue. Now, a good example, the unpaid export levies have accumulated to 68.8 billion shillings. That's according to the Auditor General. Said in a report, adding the failure to secure these levies highlights a significant shortfall in the collection of the taxes and the gold exports, depriving Uganda's coffers of the much needed funds. Now, gold has actually in the recent years been one of Uganda's #1 exports. For instance, when you take a look at the financial year 2023-2024, it accounted for over 42% of the country's total export receipts. That is according to figures about the Uganda Revenue Authority. Now, the export of this mineral has grown by 95.5% over the past decade, and the government has since put what we call a retirement and gold exporters to pay. That is over $200 per kilogram. Now, the report still further identifies mineral rent fees that is at about of 439 million shillings, which were due from exploration and mining companies, that is by June 30th, 2024, but yet to be settled. And now these payments mandated, that is by Section 50 of the Mining Minerals Act, are crucial for the sustainable management of Uganda's mineral resources, yet they remain very outstanding. Now, one of the more concerning revelations pertains, that is the distribution of the royalties and Section 180 of the same act. Now, this section requires that royalties collected from the mining sector, they should be distributed to various levels of government, and 70% to the central government, 15% to the local government, and 10% to the sub-county or town councils. That is an estimated 5% to the landowners or lawful occupiers of the land subject to mineral rights. Now, however, it's been realized that about 7.5 billion shillings in royalties were collected. The 7.5 billion shillings in royalties collected, only 3.14 billion shillings were actually distributed to the designated beneficiaries, leaving an outstanding balance of about 3.91 billion shillings. So in other words, about 45% were distributed to the designated beneficiaries, leaving a standing balance of 3.9 billion. So that is still not balancing out quite efficiently. Now, the Auditor General report attributed these issues, that is including the unpaid gold levies, the mineral rent fees, to inadequate enforcement of existing laws and regulatory weaknesses. Now, to address the situation, the report definitely outlined the key recommendations, strengthening collaboration, that is with the Uganda Revenue Authority, to improve the monitoring and enforcement of export permit requirements, invoking penalty clauses, that is against the non-compliant mineral exporters, and establishing follow-up mechanisms to track what we call the outstanding rent fees. Now, the Institute follow-up mechanism to monitor outstanding payments, that is of the mineral rent fees, and strengthen enforcement of the non-compliant license holders. Now, consider invoking the penalty clauses. This is according to what the report reads, that consider invoking the penalty clauses on culpable mineral exporters that is in line with the Section 149(5) of the Mining and Mineral Act, and ensure that the bottlenecks leading to the non-remittance of royalties are resolved, so that the intended beneficiaries of the mineral royalties receive their due share. That is still what the report reads in part. So how will it be sorted? Of course, we shall have a follow-up discussions all in relation to that. Okay. Now, away from that, as we proceed along into what is happening in our business insight. Now, Ugandan businesses have been called to participate in the Oman Trade and Investment Expo. We see that the Ugandan business community has been urged to take part in the coming East Africa Trade and Investment Expo that is going to be in Oman. Now, the consular consulate of the Sultanate of Oman in Uganda is ramping up the preparations for the expo slated for 16th and 17th of April 2025 that will take place at St. Regis Hotel. This will be in Muscat, still in Oman. Now, the event definitely aims to strengthen trade and investment ties that is between the East Africa and Oman, offering Ugandan businesses a platform that is to access the Middle Eastern international markets. Now, the delegation from Oman, led by His Royal Highness, that is Saeed Burgash, Turkey, Al Said, this is the chairman of the Expo Organizing Committee, and Mr. Faiz Mohammed, they actually visited Uganda to discuss the benefits of the event. Now, with the Oman importing goods worth about 38.5 billion annually, Uganda contributes only about a small fraction of this trade. That's according to what has been discovered. Now, the delegation noted that Ugandan businesses have a big opportunity to expand their export markets, particularly in sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and tourism. And his very own statements, this is what he said. He said that I look forward to increased investment and trade opportunities between Uganda and Oman. Oman serves as a gateway to expanding businesses and investment links that is between Uganda and the Middle East. This is according to what Faiz Mohammed said. Now, Martin Muhanji, acting Deputy Director General of the Uganda Investment Authority, said that the initiative offers Ugandan businesses access to Middle Eastern markets, attracting investment across the multiple sectors while deepening bilateral ties, that is with Oman. Now, this is Mr. Inga Atamba Kutesa, that is the Honorary Consul of the Sultanate of Oman in Uganda, commented in the Uganda Investment Authority's efforts. This is what he stated. He said that we appreciate that the Uganda Investment Authority's ongoing work that is to advance trade and investment for Uganda's development. And he said that we are confident that this initiative will actually deliver the significant benefits for both Uganda and Oman. That's what he said. Now, during their visit, the Omani delegation that is engaged with the Ugandan government institutions and business leaders, that is to raise awareness about the expo. Now, the Honorary Consul of Oman to Uganda, that is His Excellency Inga Atamba Kutesa, facilitated meetings with institutions such as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There was the Uganda Investment Authority, the Uganda Free Zones Authority, the Uganda National Oil Company. We have the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, and the Uganda Manufacturers Association. Now, these institutions have committed to participating, recognizing the expo as an opportunity to advance Uganda's economic growth and trade relations. Now, the delegation concluded their visit with a business breakfast, that is at the Golden Tulip Hotel, where they actually provided an overview of the expo to representatives from Uganda's business community. They definitely highlighted the event's key components, that is including an exhibition, a conference, and a gala dinner all aimed at fostering the business partnerships. So they are very deliberate about this. And the East Africa Trade and Investment Expo will actually provide the exhibitors with opportunities to engage in the business to business meetings with Omani entrepreneurs, talking about the business to government. That is the B2G. We have the B2B, the B2G, and then the G2G. That is the government to government engagements will also be anticipated to really take place. So the business community has been called upon to take part in this upcoming East Africa Trade and Investment Expo that will be in Oman. And of course, the event aims to strengthen trade and investment ties that is between East Africa and Oman, and will also offer Ugandan businesses a platform to access the Middle Eastern markets. Now, we know that with Oman importing goods worth 38.5 billion, that is annually, Uganda contributes only about a small fraction of this trade. So as we see, the acting deputy general of the Uganda Investment Authority said that the initiative offers Ugandan businesses access to the Middle Eastern markets. Yeah, we've seen that, and of course, much more benefits that come along. And also, we see there is sharing of knowledge, marketing strategies, seeing how we can actually, help each other, not only from the product side, but also the service side. How can Uganda really, what can Uganda learn from Oman when it comes to the service? Now, we see that, okay, now if we talk about the B2B, we have the B2G and the G2G engagements to maximize opportunities. Now, the East Africa Trade and Investment Expo will provide Ugandan exhibitors with opportunities, that is to engage in business to business, like we say, government to government and business to government. Now, once a company confirms its participation, it will definitely be matched with the relevant Omani counterparts, to ensure the maximum benefits for the exhibition. That's what the report really reads. And then finally, before we get to the break, economists have still come out to urge the government to rethink the dependence on foreign aid, allowing the U.S. aid freeze. Now, the recent decision by the United States to halt foreign aid to Africa for 90 days following President Donald Trump's order to review aid allocations has sent shockwaves. That is through the continent. Now, the economists are now advising Uganda to actually use this pause as a crucial opportunity to reassess its dependency on foreign assistance and push a sustainable, what we call sustainable economic policies. Now, Trump's decision to freeze aid is being viewed as part of a broader foreign policy strategy to better align the United States aid with the national interests. Now, the freeze comes at a time when the United States contributions, particularly to Uganda, represent a significant portion of the country's economic aid. And in 2024, Uganda actually received approximately $82 million for humanitarian assistance, 47.83 for HIV commodities, and additional funds for various health and food security programs. Now, economists urge that while the freeze may actually be short-term, it presents a unique opportunity for Uganda to take bold steps towards reducing reliance on foreign aid, especially amid the ongoing corruption scandals within the public institutions. Now, Julius Mukunda, Executive Director of the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, that is CSBAG, emphasized the need for a strategic shift in governance. Of course, he said that it's time for Uganda to stop acting like beggars. Now, he said, and he actually said that the government must step in to address corruption, reduce unnecessary expenditures, and begin focusing on self-sufficiency. Now, the aid freeze could actually act as a catalyst for Uganda to explore the alternative revenue sources and bolster its economy through increased trade, talking about support for local businesses and attracting foreign direct investment. But of course, while the disruption is unsettling, it is viewed by some as a silver lining, a chance to break free from the aid dependency and reimagine the country's future economic trajectory. And I think he has a point in that, but it's not something that, it's not a risk perhaps that Uganda is actually ready to do, I think, but it would be a good way out. But are we willing to take the risk? That is the most important aspect in here. Well, exactly 19 minutes past 9. Let's go for the break, and we shall be returning to wind up our business inside. Stick around.